Hello everybody, welcome again to my channel. This is István Locse, or Steve Locse if you want. Alright, and this is Physics of Creation. I just would like to clear something, to make it clearer. It's not about creation of the world or creation of humankind. I use creation in terms of create parallel realities. Okay, so this is physics of the creation of parallel realities, which we can actually manifest, quote unquote, or just to experience it. Okay, so we can change our realities. That is what about. Okay, so I'm back again here with Stewart Swerdlow, and we will continue the last session we did. This is going to be very interesting each time. The thing is that we do not have enough time, I say, to develop more all the things, all the questions and all the issues. So please be patient, and we will go on little by little. Okay, and again, welcome, Stewart. How are you?
Fine, thank you, István. It's good to see you again.
Okay, you know the honor is mine. All right.
That's also mine.
Okay, very well done. Well, people and Stewart, we finished last time that Illyrian descendants spread out through the galaxy, and they created, let's say like that, more than 100 colonies, right? And in the last session you mentioned that in the flow chart I showed, and I will show it again. Okay, I have it here. This is better. Good. So you mentioned that there were some groups who appeared in this flowchart exactly, for example, but you told me that these groups were not the most important, but the biggest ones. Are there any other most important groups who are not in this chart?
Well, I don't want to say most important, because everyone is important.
Of course.
And every group had a reason. It was just very difficult to put all the various groups, and over 110 minimum that would be listed. It'd be so confusing to follow that. And so I just put the ones which influenced the major civilizations on this planet, because that's what people would recognize. And I do believe in my Blue Blood book and in my True World History book, there's more details that people can read about if they like.
All right. Well, I suggest to make a little, to give people more details, to start to recognize, if we can recognize them in a way or in another, these different civilizations, because as you said that they developed differently from each other. So they developed also differences, even though they are the same Illyrian descendants, right? So if we could start from this chart, from the left side, from Rigel, for example. How are they? Rigelians.
Rigelians. Yes.
Rigel. Excuse me.
Yeah, the Rigelians are very interesting, because they had a big issue. Even though at one time they were very human-looking, tall, light hair, fair skin, etc., Unfortunately, their world was under an attack from outside that used what we would consider to be nuclear weapons that destroyed the environment on their planet and created different physical characteristics that you would see. For example, they are very thin, they have small bone density, they have a difficulty with digestion, they have difficulty with blood issues. They're, in other words, a very weak, damaged race, not because of their colonization of Rigel, but because of an attack after that. Many millennia later, that caused genetic difficulties for them.
Mutations.
Yes, and let's say even deterioration, degeneration, because of war.
Of course.
So they are a little different.
So you share a drawing in your book, Blue Blood, True Blood, and I would show it to people. Okay, let's try to put it in the front of the camera. Okay, this would be kind of, could give back, let's say, like to reflect their true appearance, more or less.
Currently.
All right.
Yes, but there was a time in the ancient past they were more like you would see Scandinavian people.
All right.
Yeah, long time ago.
They also have these big eyes, these round big eyes.
Yes.
Do they have eyelash and eyelids?
No eyelashes, but they do have lids. But interesting, Ishvan, that there are many groups that have these round eyes.
All right.
So that's very interesting to me because that seems to be more common than what we have here. So that must have been the ancient genetics that comes through like that.
All right. Okay. What height do they have?
Currently, they're about 1.3 meters, maybe.
1.3.
But there was a time they were, So there was a time they were over 2 meters. And again, they have degenerated to become this size now.
All right. Let's go now to another group. Okay, and let's see who. Procyon. Do I spell it well?
Procyon. Yes, Procyon.
Okay, Procyon.
This will be a big. This group will be big interest to the Latin American people, because this group had influence in Central and South America. And they did not have a lot of technology. They were very, they have a culture that was very connected to nature and to working with plants and animals and the universe generally. And so they actually, when they travel, they don't use their own technology. They use the technology of those who will take them, for example.
All right. So
yes,
take a bus.
So, like that. Yes, but of course they have interaction with many cultures, and for example, they interact with the beings from Sirius A. They have interacted also with the reptilians and with others who use their knowledge of healing, of spirituality, of connecting to nature. They use them. So for example, when the Draco want to access a planet, and the Draco are not very spiritual.
Yeah.
So they would bring these beings from Procyon, like, how shall I say, like helpers, to say, okay, what is this planet like? How do we deal with the herbs? What are the animals like, etc.? So the Procyon beings help them understand the planet. And that's why they bring them every place.
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah, but
by
they
their
had very good.
yeah, by their own, are they pacific or hostile? I think they are not
That's an
hostile.
interesting. Well, okay, matter of opinion, because in their culture they do ritual sacrifice, they do ceremonies that we would consider maybe a little brutal, you know. For example, when you see Aztec, when you see Mayan,
right.
they would cut people's heads off. They would take the hearts out of people. This is a little aggressive, yes.
Yeah.
And so, and yet, to them, it's very spiritual, and it was very close to nature. So it's just a perspective of the culture, you know.
So, do you say that they are sacrificing themselves? I mean, from their own people?
Yes, they did. They do. And with animals and with plants, and they did such things, yes. And that's where the Mayan culture and the Aztec and Inca culture had some influence from this.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. All right. Good. Do they look like? Well, I have the picture here. Well, it's a drawing. All right.
Yeah.
That's. Mm-hmm. They might look like actually like Southern Americans.
Correct. That's correct.
Maybe the Indians, right? All right.
Yes.
I didn't ask you the previous one, the Rigelians. Are they hostile or friendly?
My opinion is that they're a bit hostile, basically because they lied to government. They said they asked permission to abduct people to get medical benefit, and then they would not return them, or they would return them dead, or such things like this. So my opinion is that they are not so nice.
All right, good. And the Procyon, they also abducted people or not?
No, they don't. They don't do that.
All right. No. They just serve others. Let's say like that.
Basically, yes. But again, why do they do this? Because they also get a benefit. Right. Then they get to travel. Then they get to see resources and connect to other things that they otherwise would not. So, everybody has an agenda.
All right. Okay, let's go with the next one, which you have here, Arcturus. I don't know if I spell it well. Arcturians.
Yeah, Arcturus.
Okay, what should we know about them?
These are very spiritual beings. They have a civilization very close to, let's say, the Etruscans. In fact, they became Etruscans on this planet. They were a bit warlike, yes, but they also were interested in connecting to spiritual aspects of life and combined the two into their culture. They're very interested in education, interested in cultural artwork, sculpture, even singing, this type of thing.
All right. That's very interesting. What are you saying with Etruscan? Why? Because actually, the Etruscan language and writing, the ancient one, is very, very similar with the Magyar, ancient Hungarian runic writing also. We could say that they are the same language, actually, but maybe with some differences, but the writing was the same, actually, so maybe we have some connections. Hungarian people, connections with Arcturians. Could we say that?
Possible.
But
Yes,
there
it's
is
possible.
an issue here with the language itself. I mean, the ancient Magyar, because we found that might come from Sirius. Sirius, I don't know if A or B or C, but the Magyar language might come from Sirius, from Syrians. We'll see that, all right? Okay, I explained something to you one day, but we will talk maybe in person. And well, I have here a picture also. This picture looks very, very similar to human, very human-like, right? This is a
Yes.
This is I think is a woman.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Good. So we could say that they are absolutely no frightening. Could we say that?
No. Yeah. In this galaxy, many look human. Many look like you could not tell them apart from human being.
Yeah. All right.
There are many like this.
Good. So their appearance is human-like, mostly blonde or mixed or brown.
They were more darker hair, brown, darkish brown hair. Yes. The tendency more towards maybe green or hazel color eyes.
All right.
Like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Let's go to another one. And here comes Antares or Antares.
Yeah.
How do I spell it?
Antares. Yes.
Antares. Good. What should we know about them?
They were responsible for creating the ancient Greek culture after the destruction of Atlantis. The Ontarians are a very interesting group. It's a very male-dominated culture. Females are only for procreation, nothing more. They're otherwise considered to be not useful.
Oh.
The Ontarians are very...
Continue.
No, they're very militaristic culture.
All right.
It's all military.
All right. So they are not, let's say like that, at the same level, male and female in rights.
Oh no, well, females have no rights. Oh, they are only supposed to have children and nothing more.
Yeah, but if you say that they influenced the Greeks, so but in that ancient Greek culture, Greeks weren't like that. I mean, they respected women's and women had rights also, and the ancient philosophy, etc. It was really
that came from the Atlantean culture.
Oh,
when the Ontarians came in, that changed, and that is when we had the Greek culture that became military, where the only men would teach men, and only men went to school, and only men could be merchants, and so on. So the ancient Greek, the earlier, was more equal, but after it became less so.
All right.
And
so
became more like
you say that this intervention or this influence, it was in our, AD, after Christ?
It would be actually before. When the Greeks were at war with the Persians, when the Greeks were at war with the Egyptians, when they invaded Middle East, this is the time. And
Alexander
also,
the Great. Alexander the Great.
Yes, and you might remember in history, even the Olympics was only men.
Yeah.
And it was all nude. There was only like homosexual energies involved, and that's from the Antarian culture.
All right. Interesting. Well, I also have a picture. Okay, that's it, like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Are they hostile to us or friendly?
Well, I wrote about them in a Montauk book, I believe, because they were observers there in Montauk. And they were particularly interested in the sexual ritual that occurred. Yes, they are very much involved with this, and they were very aggressive in this also. So again, from my perspective, they also have an agenda, and they are not so much here anymore. This group, not so much on the earth anymore.
All right.
But I would say they were more aggressive, yes.
All right then. Okay. And let's do another one because time is running really.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
So we have here Nordics, Atlants, but we will leave this one for the Earth history. So for another session, and we have a different one, Tauseri or Eradanus. Okay, what should we know about them?
Yes, very close to me and you, Istvan, because Tauseri, because Tauseri was very much involved in Slavic and Eastern European culture. And yes, and my opinion of them is that they have an agenda to get rid of all of the grays. Why? Because a long time ago, the little grays came to Tauseri star system and kidnapped many children and killed many children. And so the Tauseri people made a vow that they would attack and destroy all the grays wherever they find them. And even here on this planet. And but this became a problem because they were attacking the grays in the United States who were giving information to U.S. government. So the government was not happy with the ones from Tauseri. And I wrote about a story that happened in 1960. A ship from Tauseri crashed in Mojave Desert, 1960. And inside was one being from Tauseri. And he was basically arrested and taken to an Air Force base in North Dakota, where he was interrogated and then executed. So that he could not turn or communicate to his people again. But Istvan, I know that since that time, at the time, the government of the Soviet Union became very friendly with these beings and gave them bases in Siberia and even in the Ural Mountains, which they still have, you see?
Right.
This is why you never, ever hear about little grays in Russia or Eastern Europe, ever.
Because they are not there.
Because they would be killed.
All right.
Correct.
Okay, how do they look like? I mean, particularities.
The Tauseri people are maybe 1.5 meters, maybe. Very stocky, very thick body, human body, but very, very muscular, very thick. Dark hair, very thick neck.
Russians?
Like Russian people. like typical Eastern European people. They would be like that, yes. But I think that even though they're aggressive, and even though it's because of what happened to them, I don't think they like to be like this. But they have also colonized Epsilon Eridanus that you mentioned before.
All right.
They've colonized this area as well. And again, very close to Russia or former Soviet Union and former Soviet republics. Very close to these people.
Yeah. And you say it also in your chart. Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Good. So these... Oh, all right. Excuse me. I also have a picture. So from your book...
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
This must be one of them. They have pointed ears, as you showed me.
More pointed. Yeah. More pointed, yes.
Mm-hmm. Good. All right. Are they friendly to human, or they don't care?
Well, I think they are friendly to humans who do not like the grays. And
okay.
Yes. So they're not friendly to American government.
All right. Good. Now, I think that these would be those important descendants. We will talk about the vegans also, but Vega, right? Vega actually is part of Lyrae.
Yes, correct. But the vegan beings are more manufactured like the Greys.
All right then. Well, so though these would be those groups, the most important ones, or biggest ones, who are Lyrian descendants. And we will talk about Atlans, and we'll talk about the Maldikians with the beginning of the Earth history, let's say when they come to Earth, and we will go on. All right, so let's stop here for the moment, and we will continue with this part in next session. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for everybody and to listen. Thank you, Stewart, also, and always we will get, let's say like that, richer or more rich with knowledge from you. Okay, so nothing more. I send you a big hug to everybody, and to you, Stewart, and see you next time.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody.